On September 10th, 2025, a fatal shooting shocked the nation. Charlie Kirk, conservative political activist and founder of Turning Point USA, was assassinated in broad daylight during a campus event at Utah Valley University. What happened that day wasn't random. It was calculated, planned, and executed with precision. Charlie Kirk was on the first stop of his American Comeback Tour, a 10-campus speaking series, when the unthinkable happened. The event took place on the campus of Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah, under a large white tent in the main courtyard adjacent to the Losey Center, a multi-story academic building with rooftop access. Kirk's format, Prove Me Wrong, invited students to step up to a microphone and debate him face-to-face. With over 3,000 people in attendance, it was one of the most anticipated campus events of the semester. The courtyard itself was wide open, surrounded by academic halls and walkways, but also flanked by buildings with elevated lines of sight. Most notably, the Losey Center stood directly behind the tent. With its rooftop unguarded and unswept by security in advance, it gave a skilled shooter the perfect perch. At 12:22 p.m., Kirk was mid-response to a question about gun violence in America when a single shot rang out. The bullet, fired from roughly 430 feet away, struck him in the neck. He collapsed instantly. In seconds, the atmosphere flipped from focused debate to full-blown panic. Screams tore through the crowd. People ducked, ran, or froze in place. Several students shouted, "Get down and run!" as others stampeded toward nearby lecture halls and administrative buildings seeking shelter. Campus police and Kirk's private security rushed to the stage, immediately initiating emergency lockdown protocols. But despite having 6 officers on site and a private detail, the team had not identified the rooftop as a threat vector. There were no spotters in elevated positions, no rooftop sweeps prior to the event, a gap that proved fatal. The shooter, dressed entirely in black, had selected the location with chilling precision. The rooftop provided a clean, descending trajectory and direct sightline to the podium. After taking the shot, the gunman retreated quickly through the building's rooftop entrance and likely used the complex layout of nearby campus structures to disappear. Room-to-room searches were conducted across multiple buildings, but by then, the assassin had vanished. Kirk was rushed to a local hospital, but he was pronounced dead early that afternoon. For those unfamiliar, Charlie Kirk wasn't just another speaker. He was the founder and face of Turning Point USA, a massive conservative youth organization with chapters in hundreds of high schools and colleges. Known for his aggressive style, viral videos, and combative stance on issues like free speech, immigration, and gun rights, Kirk had become one of the most influential voices in the modern conservative movement, especially among Gen Z. To his supporters, he was a truth teller and free speech warrior. To his critics, a provocateur and agitator. That visibility, coupled with his outspoken alignment with Donald Trump and the MAGA movement, made him a lightning rod on campuses nationwide. Friends and colleagues had reportedly raised concerns about safety in the weeks prior. Despite having a private security team, he did not receive protection from federal agencies like the Secret Service, even at high-attendance events like the one at UVU. Back to the event, investigators quickly determined the shot came from a rooftop, an elevated position on top of the Losey Center. The weapon used in the assassination was a bolt-action Mauser model 9830, chambered in .30-06, a powerful and highly accurate rifle typically used for long-range hunting. It was equipped with a mounted scope, allowing the shooter to take a precision shot from over 400 feet away. The rifle was recovered 2 days later, wrapped in a dark towel, and hidden in a wooded area just north of Campus Drive Road. The weapon's condition suggested it had been pre-staged and retrieved shortly before the attack. Forensic analysis revealed not just fingerprints and touch DNA, but also something more unusual: engravings on both spent and unspent shell casings. These messages included cryptic phrases, mocking taunts, and political slogans. One casing read, "Hey fascist, catch." Another featured lyrics from the anti-fascist Italian song Bella Ciao. Still another bizarrely read, "If you read this, you are gay." Experts say the rifle and bullet trajectory indicate moderate experience, potentially a hunter, but not necessarily a trained sniper. In contrast to other recent high-profile assassination attempts, this shooter didn't miss. One bullet, one target, one kill. Fingerprint, DNA, and ballistic evidence all tied the weapon to one person. Text messages from his phone showed he had picked up the rifle from a hidden drop point and referred to scopes, engraved bullets, and planning. The suspect was identified as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. He was arrested 33 hours later after a family member and local minister convinced him to turn himself in. Robinson had no prior criminal record. He had once been a high-achieving student at Utah State University with a 4.0 GPA and a 34 on the ACT, but he left college in 2022 and had since enrolled in a technical apprenticeship program. Friends and family noted that in recent years, Robinson had grown increasingly political. During a family dinner before the shooting, he expressed a deep hatred toward Charlie Kirk, calling him full of hate. Surveillance footage showed Robinson arriving on campus the morning of the event in a gray Dodge Challenger. Also, a roommate turned over Discord messages where Robinson mentioned retrieving a rifle from a hidden drop point. He changed clothes, carried a black backpack, and was later seen leaping from the roof after the shot. Things got stranger when a video surfaced online, posted 6 days before the shooting, falsely claiming Charlie Kirk had died in his Florida home. The post has since been deleted, and the original source remains unknown. Several books about Kirk's legacy were also published within hours of his death. On Amazon, a particular book named The Shooting of Charlie Kirk, which was written by Anastasia J. Casey, was released on September 9th, a day before the assassination, and it was quickly taken down. On social media, an account allegedly linked to a left-leaning media outlet joked about cursing Kirk using Etsy witches. Another account, now deleted, posted a day before the shooting. "Charlie is coming to my college tomorrow. I hope someone evaporates him." Whether this was the act of a lone extremist or part of something deeper, the Charlie Kirk assassination has left the nation shaken and searching for answers. It forced a spotlight on the rising threat of political violence, the quiet spread of online radicalization, and the reality that high-profile figures without federal protection are now exposed targets. As investigations move forward at both state and federal levels, one thing has become clear. This wasn't random. It was targeted, ideological, and carefully planned. A chilling reminder of how words can turn into weapons and how quickly belief can become extremism. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and support the channel by subscribing. I've got plenty of interesting content coming soon. Also, share your thoughts about the incident in the comments.